I can only imagine right now. You mentioned we were talking before the interview about just your cell phone exploding today. I'm sure it's madness, but
Yeah.
it's when you add the layer on top of that eFamily isn't your only project. It hasn't been your only startup, and it's not the only thing you're working on right now.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about what it's like to balance the acquisition process with everything else you're working on?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So, just to give you a little background on myself, I was part of a company called 3GUpload.com back in the early 2000s, and we were the leading provider of ringtones off deck um, for consumers in the U.S.
I
And we
downloaded some of those ringtones. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so thank you for that.
Of course.
So we had over 4 million registered users, 500,000 paying subscribers when we sold the company. Just a really humbling and exciting and just really a gift, to be a part of that experience. And you know, I went on to invest in a company called posterstoprints.com that the co-founder of 3G Upload started. And he, I just want to say right now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, he's a big reason why I'm in the position I'm in. He gave me a chance at 3G Upload, and I'm really thankful for that. So I invested in Posters to Print. I've invested in real estate here in Indianapolis. I tried explaining to the reporter that, for me, growing up in Indiana, I always learned to diversify and, spread my risk throughout different entities and, try to create multiple streams of income, if you will.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's what we're focused on.
After working through balancing these multiple companies and projects and revenue streams, you have some experience in the mobile industry, and in online marketing and in internet marketing or email marketing and everything, and social media. And so, what have you learned about, given your experience level in all these other projects?
Yep.
You've done a deep dive now into the private social network industry with
Yep.
eFamily and the social network world in general. So, what have you learned about that market and that industry through this whole process?
Yeah, so I'm trying to rebrand us as not being a social network. We're really a destination for families to connect in a secure and private environment.
Sure.
So, for example, customers could that own smithfamily.com could use us to power their website. We want to be a tool for families to connect. Social networking. Um, obviously is dominated by Facebook, and we don't really compete with Facebook. We want to be eFamily.com and help families connect and share those moments and remember those moments. As children get older, and we're excited about doing that. What I've learned about the social networking space, it's extremely competitive. It's hard to differentiate yourself. It's hard to get a foothold. We really want to position ourselves as a family-focused site that lets families connect to each other in a private way.
Sure, sure, cool. Well, thank you for that. I think many founders in that space can also agree with you. It is very competitive and hard to differentiate.
Yeah, definitely.
Feels sometimes like you're pushing a boulder up a hill, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
and I don't think there's anything bad to say about pushing boulders up the hill. It's
sure.
just when it's a boulder and it's Everest and it's you know
Yeah.
a small company bootstrapping itself, it's extremely difficult to,
Yeah.
to do that. So we feel like we're positioning ourselves in a really good way, and we're excited about the prospects.
Yeah. It's exciting to see, man. So what about last question for you? What about your advice for anybody that's, you mentioned you've gotten here through several acquisitions and partnerships, and
Yep.
you've been on both sides of the coin through your
Yep.
career. So, what is your advice looking for somebody looking or for somebody looking to acquire or partner?
Yeah, very good question. I first recommend, finding good advisors, doing your due diligence. In terms of partnerships, you got to find people that, are smarter than you. I mentioned Michael Slade, 100 times smarter than me. He's probably laughing right now by me saying that. But my wife, she is, she teaches me, what's important in life, and, grounds me. And I'm very thankful that, people like that, God has put in my life. I'm just really thankful, to be a part of this story. So, in terms of acquiring a company, due diligence, talk to advisors, find out if you can add value to that business that you're acquiring. Find out, ahead of time, what's your position, how are you gonna, how you're gonna grow the business and create sustainability for you and the people involved.
So what's like the one either something that you learned that you're never going to do again if you're going through an acquisition process, or something you're definitely going to do again?
Yeah,
Like something that really worked for you, or really
yeah,
didn't.
that's a really good question. Um, I'd say, the thing I learned, I learned this really early in life, is it's okay to be lucky sometimes. Origami called me and told me they were available to be purchased, and we moved pretty quickly to take advantage of that. So
Thanks for the insight and the candid feedback. Very much appreciated.
no problem. Thank you again for your work with Verge and this interview, and spreading the message of entrepreneurship to folks in Indiana and the Midwest. I think it's awesome what you guys are doing, and I'm excited to be a part of it in a small way if I can.